Okay, we're gonna start tutorial number 4. And before we start tutorial number 4, as I mentioned at the beginning of all tutorial, you need to make sure you increase the quality of your YouTube to the highest, like 1080p on the YouTube settings. So after clicking on that, you will have a better quality of YouTube. So we're gonna continue our example. Mr. Adam Brown, as you remember, he placed a sale order, we received the payment, and it's been shipped in 2 days. Now let's imagine Mr. Brown gonna place another sale order. So we again click on sale orders. So this time he's placing his sale order on October 17. He's gonna place the order for let's say one love seat, type C, and like 4 bar stool, type C, and for 1 or let's say 3 bar cabinet type A, for a total of $150. After checking our stock, we understand that we don't have none of those items on the stock, and Mr. Brown placed order for $150. In this scenario, as we are a retail furniture store, we need to make some deposit or receive some deposit, because in the case of cancellation the order, we are not gonna end up with having the item, buying it from the vendor, and nobody gonna take it from us. So at least we have some security deposit collected from the customer to make sure the customer is gonna come and pick up the items after we order it to vendor and receive the items from the vendor. Usually we collect like 30-40% deposit, it depends. Let's say we're gonna collect 30% deposit from the customer. In this scenario, gonna be like $45 deposit. So we ask Mr. Brown to pay us $45 as deposit on this order. We receive payment $45. Let's say Mr. Brown paid by MasterCard. We're gonna have MasterCard number here. And expiration date 18. First is month, 11 and 22. And reference number. On reference number we can enter the sale order which we collect deposit for. This is sale order number 5, so we can put SO number 5 here. We can put the same reference number on the memo here, and that's it. So we're gonna leave the credit to be used later, obviously after we ship the items to the customer. Save and close. So we collected deposit. Now the balance of customer gonna change to minus $45. It was 0 after the first transaction, but now it's minus $45 because we collected $45 and we have not shipped the items yet to apply the payment to. So it shows as minus 45. It means $45 deposit on the account. So let's imagine that our company goes and places the order to the vendor for these items which we didn't have them on stock. We receive them after a while, like a week or 2 weeks, and now we're ready to ship it to customer, but we recognize that the vendor, let's say they didn't send all the items, or all the items didn't arrive here at the same time. Let's say we just have 3 bar cabinets ready to be shipped and 2 bar stool C ready to be shipped. The rest are not yet in stock. So we need to basically, in this situation, we need to calculate how much money we should receive from customer to ship the items ready on stock. As I mentioned, we have 3 bar cabinet type A we have on stock ready to be shipped now, so it comes to $72. And we have 2 bar stool type C ready to be shipped on stock for $24, so it comes to $96 in total. So basically the total price of the items which we can ship is $96. And as you remember, we collected $45 from customer, so the balance, the remaining balance, gonna be $51. But in this scenario, should we just collect $51 from customer to ship the items out? The answer is no, because we still been left on the order for 1 love seat, which is $30, and 2 more bar stool C for $24 comes to $54, a balance of sale order, which basically 30% deposit we need on that, almost $16. So we need to collect $51 for the balance of the orders or the items ready to be shipped, and $16 for deposit for the remaining item on the sale order. So we need to collect at least $67, but we can collect a little bit more, let's say $70. Okay, so we collect from customer $70. Let's imagine at the end of October 2017, receive payment $70. Let's say customer paid us by check number 2546 for the end of October 2017. Save and close. And now we're gonna ship the item to the customer, the available item, on end of October. So we basically create the invoice. However, here we need to select the second option, create invoice for selected item, because as I mentioned, we don't have all the items ready in stock to be shipped. Okay, so as you remember, we just had 3 of bar cabinet type A, and we just had, so here we have 0. We are not going to invoice any because we don't have it on stock, and here we just going to invoice 2 because we have 2 on stock. So to be invoiced, we're going to invoice 2 of bar stool C and 3 of bar cabinet type A, because we don't have the rest of the items on stock. Click OK. Here we go, and it creates the invoice as you see, and as we calculated, is $96 for 2 bar stool C and for 3 bar cabinet A. So the total of orders for bar stool C was 4. We're gonna invoice 2. The back order is 2. And the total number of orders for bar cabinet type A was 3. We're gonna ship 3, so back order gonna be 0. And we don't have any for previous invoice. And as you see here, the sale order number is 5 because we created that invoice through sale order number 5. The invoice number here is generated automatically by the system. So we're gonna ship the items on October 31st, so invoice date gonna be October 31st, and save and close. It says this customer has available credit that can be applied to this invoice? Would you like to apply the credits to this invoice? Basically, the system means by available credit those payments which we collected as deposit from the customer, which is not yet applied to anything. So yes, we're gonna apply those payments which we had $45 first, and then we collected another $70. So we're gonna apply $96, as you see, amount to use $96 for this invoice, and that way the full balance of invoice gonna be paid, and credit balance gonna be $19, and that $19 is a little bit more than 30% of the value of the back orders which we need to keep on account as the deposit for the back orders. We click down, and here you go. So now what happened? The balance of customer gonna be minus 19, which is basically kind of deposit for back orders. As you see here on the sale order, we have one on invoice love seat C, which is back order, and we have two of on invoice bar C. We invoice 2, so the back order gonna be 2. So 1 and 2, and we don't have any back order for bar cabinet type A. And these two items, if we multiple the quantity of back orders by the rate of each item, and we multiple by 30%, $19 is a little bit over 30% deposit we require for the back order. So we are cool, or we're fine with that. As you see, this invoice is paid in full, and we have a remaining balance of $19. Even QuickBooks give you the option to analyze how the balance is created. So you go to balance detail, and you see here the second payment we collected from customer is not applied yet to anything, because that $19 balance or open balance is kind of deposit for the back orders on the sale order. So let's imagine again almost 2 weeks after we receive the rest of the items from vendor, and these are ready to be shipped out. So we call customer and say these are ready to be shipped out, and we ask customer to make a payment for the balance. So how much is the open balance on that sale order? Let's see, yeah. As you can see, the open balance on that sale order is $54. If you double click, you even can calculate it yourself. Back order 1 of love seat C, multiple rate 30, it's gonna be $30. And back order 2 of bar suit C, multiple 12, 24. So we expect $54 value of the back order, as it shows here as open balance of the sale order. But we already have $19 deposit. So basically, by having $19 deposit, we just need to collect $35 the balance. So the customer pay $35 2 weeks after. And let's say it's been paid by check number 3415. So save and close, and we're gonna ship the back orders to the customer. So we come here and we click on create invoice, and since we're gonna ship all the remaining items on the order, we can choose the first option, create the invoice for all the remaining items on the order, and that's it. So here we are. We're gonna invoice 1 of this item and 2 of this item. For this item we're not gonna invoice any because we invoiced them before in full. Even we don't need to keep that line here because as you see the total is 0 for that item, but before deleting the line just gonna do a quick analyze here. So for item love set C we invoice 1, the customer order 1. For item bar sold C we invoice 2, the customer order 4. Previous invoice we ship 2 and we're gonna ship the rest, which is 2 on this invoice. And for bar cabinet type A we're gonna invoice 0. Why? Because customer ordered 3 and we already invoiced that 3 on previous invoice which we shipped it before. So I'm gonna delete that line. You can choose to delete line here, we don't need it. And as you can see, the balance of the invoice is gonna be $54, and it's been invoiced through sale order number 5. The ship date is November 14, 2017, and as you can see the invoice number is 308, which is generated automatically by the system. So we save and close this invoice. And again it asks this customer has available credit that can be applied to this invoice. Would you like to apply those credits to this invoice now? You remember that we choose yes and we apply it. However, we have another option of doing that. You can choose no and then apply it yourself manually. So if you choose no, then the system is not going to automatically apply the payments to the invoice. So although the balance of customer is 0, however, like if you go and click on invoices, you see that this invoice still has open balance showing. And if you go to receive payment, we're gonna have unapply amount or payments here as open balances. So if we go to the invoice is not gonna show paid in full. However, we know that is paid in full. So the reason it's not showing paid in full because we didn't apply those credits to the invoice. So we need to come here, receive payments, and apply these remaining credits one by one to that invoice. So as you see here we had $19 left, so I'm gonna click here to apply that $19 to this invoice 308, which is our latest invoice. And now our option been changed here. It says leave this as an underpayment or write off the extra amount. Of course we're not going to write off the extra amount because the customer made the payment for the balance. So we're going to leave this as underpayment. Save and close. And then we're going to go and apply the last payment to the invoice here. And here we go. As you see, the amount due is $35 because we applied $19 on prior payment, and we're gonna apply the remaining balance of $35 here to the amount due. Save and close. And now if you come back to the invoice and you double click on it, invoice shows paid in full. If you go to the sale order, you go to report, you click on transaction history, you see that this sale order is linked to 2 invoices. The reason is that we made the partial shipment first and then we shipped the remaining of the items on the second shipment. And all our items basically have been shipped: order, invoice, order, invoice, order, invoice. So the quantity of invoice is exactly equal to the quantity of order. So that's why it shows invoice in full. So I close. And I'm gonna stop here for part 2 of tutorial number 4, and basically we're gonna continue in next tutorials to make the situation a little bit more complicated, and to analyze how we're supposed to handle these situations in QuickBooks.